All right, let's talk about a situation that can make any rider's blood run cold: the aggressive tailgater. We're going to break down four, count 'em, four key strategies to keep you safe when a driver decides your back tire is their new front bumper.
Oh, yeah, you've been there. We all have. You're out, you're enjoying the ride, everything's perfect, and then you glance in your mirror, and all you see is a wall of chrome grille. It's an instant, high stress situation that every single one of us recognizes. And man, it just sends a jolt of pure anxiety right through your handlebars.
So, in that split second, what's your gut reaction? What's your first move? Your instincts might be screaming at you to do one thing, but is it actually the right thing? Let's figure out what the smartest, safest reaction really is.
You know, to really handle this right, we first have to get our heads around our place in this whole scenario. Because out on the highway, there's a certain dynamic at play. And let's be honest, it's not exactly stacked in our favor. This right here, this frames the whole power imbalance perfectly. Think about it. A driver in a car, they're basically a predator. They're wrapped in a cage of steel, they're heavy, they're powerful. And us, on our bikes, we're the prey. We're exposed, we're lightweight, and we are completely, totally vulnerable to whatever they decide to do. And this gets to the absolute core of the problem. See, we are masters of the space ahead of us. We can add more following distance, we can scan the road, we can plan our moves. But that space behind us, that little bubble, it often feels like it's completely and utterly out of our control. But here's the good news. This is the turning point. Because while it feels impossible, you actually can take back control. It just takes a little shift in your thinking, moving away from a panicked, knee-jerk reaction to a smart, strategic action. And look, it's not some kind of rocket science. There are four clear, actionable things you can do to manage a tailgater and diffuse a really dangerous situation before it ever has a chance to escalate. So here they are, just at a glance. We're going to talk about checking your own speed first, then how to use your lane position to your advantage. After that, the big one, the super counterintuitive but crucial step of actually increasing your forward following distance. And finally, knowing when it's time to check your ego and just pull over. Okay, first things first. Let's start with a little self-assessment. A tough question. Could you be part of the problem? Look, here's the deal. If you constantly find cars stacking up behind you, there's a chance you might be going too slow for the flow of traffic. The goal on the highway is to ride with the flow, or honestly, even a little bit faster so you can find those nice open gaps. And if that speed makes you uncomfortable, the safest move isn't to slow down and become a roadblock, it's to find a different route that fits your comfort level. All right, strategy number 2 is all about being proactive. It's about using the space you have to maximize your vision and, more importantly, your options. I want you to think of your lane as a toolbox. You need to position yourself to get the absolute best view of the road ahead. Now, why is that so important? Because if you can see traffic slowing down way, way up the road, you can react smoothly, gradually. And that helps you avoid the one thing you absolutely positively cannot do with a tailgater on your six: slam on your brakes. And now for the big one. This strategy feels completely wrong in the moment, but trust me, it is the single most effective tool you have against a tailgater. Okay, be honest. When that giant SUV grille fills up your mirrors, what does every single fiber of your being scream at you to do? Twist that throttle and get the heck out of there, right? It's a totally natural instinct to try and create space behind you by gassing it. But this right here shows the critical difference. That gut instinct tells you to fight for space behind you. The correct defensive strategy is to create a bigger buffer of space in front of you. How? By gently, smoothly rolling off the throttle. So why on earth does this backwards feeling move work so well? Well, first off, if you speed up, guess what the impatient driver behind you is going to do? They're just going to speed up too. You haven't solved a thing. But by opening up a bigger gap ahead of you, you give yourself a massive safety cushion. You now have way more time and space to react to anything happening up front. And you know what? As a little bonus, it often makes that impatient driver so antsy that they just find a way to get around you. Problem solved. So what happens if you've done all that and they're still glued to your tailpipe? Well, that brings us to our final and maybe most important strategy. At a certain point, this isn't about your lane position or your technique anymore. It's about recognizing that the other person's aggression is putting your life in real danger.
And in that situation, the only winning move is to take yourself out of the game entirely. Just let that sink in for a second. This is a stark, unavoidable truth of the road. It doesn't matter how right you are. It doesn't matter how amazing a rider you are. In a contest of pure physics between a motorcycle and a car, the car is going to win. Every single time.
So, how do you do it? It's simple and it's safe. Just signal your intention nice and early. Change lanes when it's safe to do so, and then take the very first chance you get to exit the situation. Pull onto a side street, dip into a parking lot, whatever. Just let them go. Your ride can continue in peace just a few seconds later.
Okay, so let's bring all this home. What is the one thing, the one crucial point that we absolutely have to remember from all of this? This is it, right here. It is incredibly, incredibly hard not to get angry when someone else's carelessness puts you at risk. But your ego, your pride, it is not worth your life. Giving up a piece of pavement to an aggressive driver so that you can make it home in one piece is always, always the right call. I know it sounds dramatic, but in that moment, that's really the choice you're making. And now, armed with these strategies, you can make sure you always choose to ride another day.